And the question becomes, where are we seeking guidance? See, there's a lot of places that a person can look for how they should act, what's their standard. These are things we have to ask ourselves. What's my source of guidance? What tells me how I live my life? What's my criteria of good and evil? What tells me right from wrong? This is an essential question we have to ask. Because when we get confused about that, that's why we get lost. Because we don't have like a proper map. We're not even clear on what our map is, right? Or our GPS isn't really working. And so we end up getting lost. So one very important question we have to ask ourselves is, what's my criteria? What guides me? And everyone has something different that guides them. One of the most common sort of guides, I'd say, in our modern society right now is our desires. Our desires. So this is this phenomenon that whatever you feel, whatever you want, whatever you desire, whatever urges you have, obey them. You know Sprite, right? What Sprite tell you to do? Obey your thirst. Good. What does Nike tell you to do? Just do it. Great. Does anyone know what Pepsi tells you to do? Live for now. Live for now. And the O is a Pepsi sign. And now. So there's a theme here, right? And that theme is obey your desires. YOLO, right? You only live once. Live it up, right? That's it. You got this life and that's it. So maximize pleasure. Worship your desires. It's literally a type of worship. Because what is worship, essentially? Well, worship isn't just praying. You know what worship is? Worship, as defined for us, is when you say, Sami'na wa ata'na. Worship is we hear and we obey. That's what worship is. When you worship something, it's your master, right? You're a slave. So when master says do, you hear and you obey. You understand? That's what a slave is. So when your desire says do, and you just say, I hear and I obey, you are a slave to your desires. And this is a very, very serious problem that we have in our society today. Because it's stuffed down our throats. It's actually taught to us and forced upon us that you must obey your desires, that you must worship your desires, that in fact you are a slave to your desires. Realize that every single person takes some sort of master. This master becomes what we enslave ourselves to, right? Even an atheist has a master. You understand? Even an agnostic has a master, has something that they worship. Not in prayer, but in obedience. Do you understand? You become enslaved to this thing, whatever it happens to be. But everyone has a master. In our deen, this is called an ilah. You know the word ilah? Where have you heard this word before? In the shahada, right? What's the shahada? What makes you a Muslim? Ashhadu, I bear witness, and la ilaha illallah. So you're saying, I bear witness that there's no ilah except God. Okay? But everyone has an ilah. Every single person. Whether you believe in God or you don't, you have an ilah. The ilah is that thing that you worship. It's the thing that determines how you live your life, why you live your life,